When you think of Sleeping Beauty, you probably picture a soft pink light, a gentle kiss, and a happily ever after. But the truth behind this fairy tale is a far darker than anything Disney ever showed you. Because before she was Aurora, she was Dahlia. And her story began not with a kiss, but with a curse and something much, much worse. This is the real Sleeping Beauty, a tale of betrayal, hunger, and fate. And once you hear it, you'll never look at the spinning wheel the same again. And I've always found it so fascinating how the most beautiful stories often hide the most haunting truths. And Sleeping Beauty might just be the most haunting of them all. Long before Disney's Pastel Castle, the story appeared in a 17th century Italian folktale called Sun, Moon and Talia by Giambattista Basile. In this version, a young woman named Talia pricks her finger on a piece of flax and falls into an endless sleep. Years later, a king discovers her lifeless body, and instead of helping her, he assaults her. While she sleeps, she gives birth to twins named Sun and Moon. They're the ones who eventually wake her. Not a kiss, but by sucking the splinter of flax from her finger. When I first read that, I remember just sitting in silence, horrified, because it makes you wonder, were these stories ever meant for children at all? They weren't bedtime tales. They were warnings, passed down in whispers about temptation, fate, and the dangers that come when innocence meets power. But that was just the beginning. The story didn't end there. It evolved. And in the process, something was lost, and something was deliberately hidden. When Charles Perrault rewrote the story in France, he softened it. The curse no longer killed Talia. It only sent her into a sleep. The assault became a kiss, and her awakening a miracle of true love. Now, by the time the brothers Grimm adapted it centuries later, the story had been stripped of almost everything unsettling. And Disney, they turned it into a dream. Aurora's world glowed with golden light. The villain had green fire and fabulous cheekbones. And the entire message became love conquers all. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also very sanitized. To me, it's like someone taking an ancient spellbook, replacing it with all the warnings with sparkles. Because the original story wasn't just about love, it was about control. And what happens when a woman's fate is written by everyone but herself? And yet, even Perrault's version, the one Disney borrowed from, hides a twist. After Sleeping Beauty awakens and marries her prince, the story should end, right? But in the real version, it doesn't. The prince's mother, an ogress, becomes jealous and orders her servants to cook Aurora and her 2 children for dinner. The cook, in secret, saves them, serving the ogress lamb and goat instead. But when the truth comes out, the queen tries to throw them all into a pit of vipers. Only the king's sudden return stops the slaughter. It's absolutely shocking, even grotesque, to be honest. But it's also very symbolic. The ogress represents envy, the devouring force that tries to consume innocence and beauty. When I think about that, I realise something. Happily ever after isn't a guarantee, it's a fight. Even after the curse is broken, danger still waits in the next room. But there's another question that lingers, one that changes how we see Sleeping Beauty entirely. In mythology, long sleep often represents transformation, a symbolic death and rebirth. But in these tales, Sleeping Beauty isn't choosing her transformation. She's cursed into silence. She doesn't fight the spell. She doesn't escape it either. Things happen to her. She's acted upon, not acting. And that's the unsettling truth. Her sleep becomes a metaphor for women's lack of agency throughout history. Beautiful, voiceless, waiting for permission to awaken. It does make me think just how many of our modern princess stories still follow that same pattern of waiting for someone else to save them. But in some versions, nature itself rises to protect her. And that's where the story turns from tragedy to something almost cosmic. In the older versions, collected by the brothers Grimm, a thick forest of thorns grow around the castle. They're so dense it kills any man who tries to pass. For 100 years, knights perish, tangled in vines that seem almost alive. Until, finally, one prince arrives and the thorns part. Some believe the thorns are symbolic. They protect her, but they also trap her as well. To me, that's such a powerful image, because sometimes the same walls that keep us safe also keep us asleep. And when we finally wake, we have to decide, were they shielding us or holding us back? And so we return to the awakening, the moment everyone remembers, but few understand. In the earliest tales, Sleeping Beauty wakes not from a kiss, but from pain. A splinter drawn out, a wound reopened, the body reclaiming itself. Later writers changed it to a gentle kiss, turning trauma into romance. Disney absolutely perfected this version, bathed in golden light, as if love alone could erase centuries of darkness. But maybe the real magic isn't in the kiss at all. Maybe it's in the waking, the moment of remembering who you are after generations of silence. Maybe the story is not love at first sight, but rebirth after being forgotten. What if Sleeping Beauty was never just a fairy tale alone? What if it was a mirror, showing us what happens when power, silence, and beauty intertwine? Disney gave us the dream, But the old storytellers gave us the lesson that even in our deepest sleep, we can still awaken. Not because someone saved us, but because we finally chose to open our eyes. So the next time you hear the words once upon a time, remember, some stories were never meant to make us comfortable. They were meant to wake us up. If this story changed how you see Sleeping Beauty, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to uncover more hidden truths behind classic myths and fairy tales, make sure to subscribe. There are so many secrets still sleeping in the shadows.